First of all, hi, Reggie Whitley here, and I am not alone because when am I alone? I am here with Shontal Bettis Brown.
Hi, everyone.
They said hello. So I think we would be remiss, and I don't even know what that word means, if we didn't talk about this whole thing with Katt Williams. The biggest interview of 2024, and we're only a few days in. We're not even 2 solid weeks in to 2024 yet, and here we are with the biggest interview. And I say that saying, I don't even
Yeah,
know if
because
there'll be
this,
a bigger one. I just don't even,
I doubt it.
unless
Well,
he
you
come
know
back out
what?
with part two.
And that's what a lot of people were saying. If it was a podcast with him, Boosie, and somebody else, they said they think that would literally break the internet.
Probably would. I wouldn't watch it because I don't like Boosie and I don't support nothing that he does. So I thoroughly enjoyed, and I think that there have been enough clips and there have been enough people who have watched
I love it.
millions of people within 24 hours. And for those who didn't watch it, if you're anything like me, I saw like clip after clip after clip after clip on TikTok, and I sat there and I watched every single clip that I saw. And then I turned around and I watched that whole 2 hour and 40 some minute video, which to know me is to know that's a big deal for me to sit there and watch that long thing. I did
It
watch it at
is.
0.25 speed, so I didn't watch it at normal speed. I did watch it pretty fast, but that was a lot of watching, and I enjoyed every second. I say all that to say enough people have seen enough clips, enough people have watched it to where I don't even think we need to even play because what clip would we play today? Let's just be clear. The man talked about everything and everybody. I wouldn't even know what clip to play for you guys. If you haven't watched it, where have you been? Under a rock? If you haven't even seen anything. So I learned so much out of it. Before I share the main thing that I learned, that I don't know if people gathered. But before I share it, Chantel, what did you think about it?
Well, I haven't seen the whole interview because I was off social media for a few days. But when I heard about it, I did see clips and pieces when I got back on. And so I was like, wow. Um, I love myself some Steve Harvey. He's very funny to me. And I have been to first let me just start off. When I was in Dallas, Kings of Comedy Tour, I used to go to it all the time. Because it used to be with the basketball thing. Um and so the basketball thing, I forgot what's the name of it, but it used to be in February. And I actually went to Kings of Comedy. Loved it, hilarious, funny, seen all of it. It wasn't when Bernie Mac was living, which I would have went because I love me some Bernie Mac. The greatest part for me is his loyalty to Bernie Mac, the whole Bernie Mac part. Even though Bernie Mac was dead and gone, it was like don't put no, don't try to come for the king himself. I love that loyalty in him. Even though Bernie was dead and gone, he still was like, no, y'all ain't finna downplay my boy. Um, then it was the whole joke thing, um, stealing of the jokes, and how he was able to come back with facts. So many people will always be like, "Oh, Katt Williams on some, he crazy," and a lot of people said, "Is he going crazy like Kanye West?" I cannot compare the two because clearly he has facts behind some of his stuff and paper trails and stuff to match. Not throwing Kanye under the bus again, but I'm just saying. Um, I don't know. It was just a lot but my goal is this week is to watch the whole 2 hours and 47 minute video. Um, to get a better understanding instead of click. Because I heard he was talking about Tiffany Haddish. He talked about everybody. He unleashed the secrets of comedy.
And one of the things that was interesting to me, well, first of all, let me just back up. I didn't realize that people were comparing him to Kanye. It's so funny
Because they say he
because
was losing his mind while drink. You know, when people say Katt Williams, the first thing people think about and say in the that type of industry is, oh, Cat just high, Cat just drunk, now he rambling at the mouth or whatever the case may be. And I didn't see that. I seen that, even though he was drinking, I didn't see that cat. I saw a cat that's like, I'm here to tell y'all what's really going on, and you're gonna listen to me today.
and the thing is he didn't do it out of malice. Back to
Mm-mm,
the comparison, it's so funny to me how people, instead of listening to certain truths, so this is what I have to have determined, guys. Instead of listening to certain truths, will paint the picture. Cat has been played or displayed as a maniac. So many pictures have been
mm-hmm,
portrayed of Cat Williams for so long, and it's mainly by people who are in the industry who he doesn't mind exposing. But it's just very interesting to me that people would even compare him to Kanye. Like that is such a wild stretch. But the thing is, he didn't get on that couch and expose these people out of malice, out of envy, out of hatred, out of jealousy. The thing is, and I think a lot of people miss this, most of the people, if not all, and the only reason I'm not saying all is because I haven't fact checked each individual person, but most of the people who we talked about on that couch talked about him. Most of the
mm-hmm.
people who talked about him on that same couch. And so here we saw um, Shannon Sharpe host Steve Harvey. Shannon Sharpe host, did he host Cedric? Cedric the Entertainer. Shannon Sharpe host
Ricky Smiley.
Ricky Smiley. He's hosted such a number of these comedians who, for some reason, all had Cat Williams in their mouth, a name in their mouth. And so I personally look at it as if anybody should be catching the smoke, it should be the ones that he mentioned because they went on there
And
unprovoked
called
and
him.
talked about Cat Williams. All Cat Williams said was, let me come on here and clear the air. Let me come on here and say what needs to be said because they coming on here talking. Now it's my time to respond. We see this same thing. It's the same thing with presidential debates.
Mm-hmm,
They have the same platform. They just have it at the same time. One says throws a jab at the other, and then the other throws a jab back. We see this with everything. Let's just be honest. So I think that it's very interesting that he literally just went on there. And one of the things that I think it is a very sure sign of, I don't know where this conversation going to go, Chantel. One thing that I think is a very sure sign of is be careful what you say out of your mouth. When you start talking, that's what makes people come out and have something to say. We saw this with I have a friend on social media, or a friend in real life, but she was on social media and somebody said some crazy, throwing jabs at her. Now, this person had been talking about her for years behind her back, but it was one post that he made on Facebook that set her off and she came out, she did a live and she talked about it because she defended herself from that post. When you say it publicly, the person defends himself. It reminds me of a popular bishop who wasn't even really being talked about like he being talked about right now. It was out there, but then he got in his pulpit and he made it seem like everything was fine. He painted this picture. And now here you go with all these other people. Lawsuits are about to come out. People are going live, calling him out. This wouldn't have happened if he kept his mouth closed. Cat Williams would have never gone on that man platform and talked about these people had they kept their mouth closed. I think that's the lesson here. What do you think, Shantae? You take it over from there because I go somewhere. Try not
I
to go.
I think
'Cause I start calling it. No, I'm just playing, guys. I'm just go ahead.
he ain't
Am I
playing. He
playing?
will.
I sure will.
Mm-mm. He will. I think he did what he needed to do for himself. Some people, I do get a vibe where let them talk, let them say, and we actually had a podcast like that before. Um, let them talk, let people say what they want to say. But I think he needed to say what he needed to get off what he his chest.
I don't remember that
Because like you
podcast.
said,
I need to go and watch it. Do you remember the
mhm,
name of it? What season was it? Because I need to see what I said. Because we might have to do that over.
yeah, I think it was the name of the podcast was Let Them Talk. Um, I think Cat Williams is in a place where he just got sick and tired. Like y'all just coming up on him, like you say, because all of them have been on the thing, have been on on Shannon Sharpe. So it's like, okay, here go one person. Uh, I'm a, I'm a duck. They're coming up. Okay, I'm dodging. I'm stupid now. That's one that's blow. But then the third person come and you want to swing. Okay, now it's getting to the point. I can't take it no more. I got to say something back. And I think that's what he was. But what I do like that he actually had facts for a lot of the things that he was saying, especially when it came down to the joke between him and Cedric the Entertainer.
Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Katt Williams' joke? Yeah. He said it don't line up. How it don't line up? He thought that I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know. Right. The issue was that I had already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice. Right. It had done so well on BET's Comic View that they had made it part of the commercial. So part of the commercial of make sure you tune in to BET was you seeing me doing this joke. So this is not just a random joke. This is my very best joke, and it's my last joke, and it's my closing joke. Okay. 1998, I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the Kings of Comedy. And he's doing it verbatim. He's just changed my car into a spaceship.
And even said came back and said, yeah, I thought he forgave me over that, or I thought this and I thought that. But you brought it up. He just came back and said something about it. And I do think that with Cat Williams, he's been down for because Cat Williams is funny. Like he
Hilarious.
is really, really funny. A lot of the people that he named, even though I like them as comedians, Cat Williams is really under Bernie Mac to me. Bernie Mac is my all-time favorite comedian. Bernie Mac and some more. I love me some more. Mouth is ridiculous, but that woman there, her, I love her. So it's like Cat, do what you got to do for you. Because honey, if you wasn't getting paid, and then I seen some posts where even some of the low end comedians came and said if it wasn't for, and what I did love about it, it was said that a lot of people can't help out. He still didn't even mention on the show. It's like it comes to a point where he didn't gloat himself. Like he didn't say, "Oh, I did this, I did this, I didn't pay for this, I didn't pay for that." Until Shannon Sharpe, from what I saw, and on some of the clips, he really didn't discuss it. He had to bring it to the table. And you have so many people that you don't even have to bring them to the table. Oh, I done fed 1 million kids. Da, 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 da. If the way it came off, if Shannon Sharpe wouldn't even said nothing, Katt Williams wouldn't have said nothing. And that shows a lack of loyalty and integrity for me, because he genuinely has a good heart.
Whereas so many don't. So many, because I think one of the things that I respect about him the most is his humility and is his loyalty. Because the
Yeah.
thing about Cat Williams, it is clear, like you said, he didn't gloat, he didn't brag about all that he's done. He didn't brag about all of the children he's adopted and all of the people in the
And
industry
I
that
didn't
he
even
put
know
on.
about the kids.
Right?
I literally just found
His
out about
daughter.
the kids. Yeah. I literally did not even know. And even in the interview, it wasn't even in an interview. I think somebody posted it. And I was like, Cat Williams got kids that he adopted? Like, I seen the little, I read that one. And I was thrown away because I never knew. Never knew. Never even would have thought this man would have adopted kids.
As a single man adopting these kids. And then also what a lot of people miss too is Cat Williams owns so much of his stuff. So he clearly has shown he's not a sellout. He's not out here doing what he got to do, doing some strange little piece of change. He's not trying to he's not one who can be manipulated or puppeteered because people are putting money in his pocket. He finances all of his own shows, so therefore, not only does he finance all this stuff, but he has the ownership of it. So a lot of people even talking about his net worth, how, they're comparing his net worth to people like Kevin Hart's net worth online.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But of course, he did say when he looked, he had that amount of money on him at the time, like it was in his pocket. He said that, of course, as a joke, but his net worth is a whole lot more than what people realize, because the thing is, he owns all of his specials, all of his everything. So every DVD that was bought, money went into his pocket first. Like it didn't go
Mm-hmm.
to a big production studio. Every when it's all on Netflix, when it's all on all these platforms and all of that. I don't care if you see a Cat Williams special on Tubi, the money going in his pocket because he doesn't have a big network that he got to pay out first. And that is the difference between him and so many others. He has the business sense, he has the wisdom. And so he can afford, quite literally and figuratively, he can afford to say what he wants to say. And I just believe, some tells me, I got the sneaky suspicion that if they keep knucking and bucking, he can pull out receipts. Um, he is a very interesting creature to me. And I'm glad that he did do this interview because, like you said, it showed his humility, but it
Mm-hmm.
also showed, I think it was a very telling interview, and it is very telling, I think, for because we've seen so many exposures already with Diddy and with Bishop Jakes and with some of these other billionaires. Exposures by Christian Keys, which I'm tired of him playing in our face. But we've seen kind of the signs of the Epstein list, the Jeffrey Epstein list coming out. So we're seeing so many signs of, wait a second. I don't know about y'all, but I'm making sure my hands clean. Because I
Mm-hmm.
don't need to be in the midst. I don't need to be. Is this what this year is going to be about? Because these people, these
And
people
it's
who I've long
fresh.
idolized, it's fresh. These people who have been long idolized are really being exposed and just taken down. Even with the whole Jada thing, so many of them have been exposed, and I think that there's more to come. We just have to be able to listen because it's telling to me that people were liking Cat Williams to Kanye when Cat Williams is coming telling what I believe to be a truth, although allegedly for legal purposes, but what I believe to be a truth is interesting that because it's somebody who many people love, it's hard to believe. But it
Mm-hmm.
makes me wonder, when other stuff starts coming out, like when this Epstein list starts coming out, will we believe that? When people start telling us about some of the real crooked people in Hollywood and people who are just awful in the industry, will we believe that, or have we been conditioned to love these people so much? Have we been conditioned to just respect and idolize these people so much that we won't even believe the truth when it's right in our face? I think that we should really think about that as we go on with this year and just with life. And then I think we should look at, if you love a person so much that you don't believe that they do any bad or that you just always rocking with them, I want you to look at the fact that you made them an idol. Because
True,
how you can't see, I
true.
don't care what nobody say, I'm always love them. Really? Like a monster? So I think it's interesting. I think that there's more hidden messages behind that interview than we realize.
And one of the things that I did see that I also loved it was when made that statement about Ice Cube and Ice Cube Network. How it was on Friday. He was like another young black, African American, trying to come out and build his brand because so many people was like they didn't get money off Friday and they didn't do this and they didn't do this and look how Friday blew up.
Shut up. Why don't you shut up? You could have went to Hermes. Why you didn't go to Balenciaga? Why you didn't get a bowl to the Balmain? You want to have that conversation? Right. What you mean the independent black dude who's filming it partly out of his pocket? What you mean he didn't pay you enough? They weirdos. Weirdos. That felt like they earned the opportunity because they were big. No, no.
And I feel like he looked at that and he portrayed that as a come up for him because it was a come up.
I'm
Friday after
sorry,
next.
I'm a little confused. I think I saw the whole thing, but I don't remember that. So was he saying, what did he say?
A lot of people were saying they didn't make enough money. They didn't
Right.
get enough money.
Because I remember
But
John Witherspoon was one who
yeah,
came out and
but
talked about that.
he took it as no, he may not have made enough money. What did you expect coming from that era? Let's just be real. That was 20 years ago.
Oh,
So
okay. I think I get it.
coming from that era, he didn't look at the finance part of it. I think he looked at it in a more of a way of I'm setting myself up for more auditions or setting myself up for or helping my community in a sense. That's where I pulled away from it. He wasn't doing it so much for the money. He was doing it for the foundation part of his career. That's just what I got out of it. And so I liked it how you know, he kind of held Q down in a sense, in that part two with that movie because Friday was a big issue for me with a lot of people because they took Ice Cube on through them Friday. Like they talked about that for the longest, how they want people weren't getting paid, this is whatever. So I always wondered about that film and how did other people, and I'm happy he did come in on it and say what he said regarding it. And Ice Cube did come back with an interview, but I didn't get to watch that clip, so I can't really speak on what did he say back. But um, it was just a lot. Cat just he took it out there, and I think he did what he needed to do for himself, and I'm glad he did do it, and I'm glad he did expose or not. I ain't gonna say expose, but he opened up his own personal life because so many people don't look at him as what he is, and he is one of those people that you want to rock with. You want to keep them type of people because he's loyal.
And he had a lot of points where it left me saying the conversation needed to be had. I think we have to stop being fearful of having certain conversations because of disagreements or because of the picture that it would paint of a certain person or certain group of people. I think that he opened the door for a lot of much needed conversations. It reminds me a lot of um, um, Taraji P. Henson, who is opening the door, or I should say has opened the door for a lot of much needed conversations. And I will say, we'll be talking about that very soon, the Taraji P. Henson, because it is high time, I believe, for certain veils to come off. There's a lot that I've even learned about how things work in Hollywood in general that just make no sense. Like it should be illegal if we're being honest. I'm not even exaggerating. Like the way they do their money, the way they do their accounting, the way they can have a highly successful film that's making a whole lot of money in the box office, but they come out and the producers, the people in charge, they can come out and say, well, really the studio can say, well, we didn't make any money off of this, so we can't really pay you guys. And they do it in a way where it looks legitimate, but it should be illegal. So I think that brought to mind when you said about him with Ice Cube. But I think until we have the conversations like Katt seems to be willing to have, um, Taraji seems to be willing to have, and so many others, to Danielle, I think her name is Danielle Brooks, who's also in The Color Purple, who is willing to have. Until we have these conversations, Manasseh Jordan, who's talking about Jakes, what happened with him, um, people on the Epstein list, people are coming out about that. Until we're willing to have these kind of conversations, I think that we do ourselves a disservice by keeping blinders on our eyes, by keeping, you know, being in delusion. Ignorance is not bliss. And I think it's about time for, some of this stuff to be talked about, because why should we keep supporting, let's just talk about Hollywood. Why should we keep supporting um certain people who are monsters? And when we see this happening there, because let's be honest, a lot of households try to base themselves on what they see on TV, what they see in celebritydom. And when we start seeing them have those conversations, hopefully, because I know y'all thought we weren't going to shine the light back on you. Hopefully, we'll start seeing the conversations in households that need to be had, hard conversations, taboo conversations, things that many of family members have just overlooked. Many family members just kind of dance around. Hopefully, because, and I'm only saying it because, again, so much of what we see in households, they try to emulate. A lot of y'all be trying to be these
Hmm.
celebrities. So if y'all see these celebrities having these hard conversations, I hope that influences and encourages many of you to have these hard conversations with your friends, with your family, and get to the root of some of this stuff. Get to the root of it and clear your name, clear the air, clear whatever it is in between you and whoever it is. Because if the others are mature, which I don't think they are with the Katt Williams thing, if they were mature, they would reach out to Katt. We know they're not mature because they're the ones who started talking about him. But if they were mature, they'll reach out to him to get that straight. Let that be a lesson to you and your family. Instead of going back and forth like they're about to do and like they're doing right now, just go ahead and sit down and have a little heart to heart with your family, with your friends, to clear the air so that nobody have to go live and call nobody out. So that's all I got to say on that. You got anything else to say, Shontal?
That's it. That's you hit it right on. Like you said, just go ahead and have those unwanted talks and those things that because you never know what can transpire from it. The healing can transpire, because it's better to work together than against each other. That's just how I look at it. That's all I got.
Well, alrighty. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna watch Katt Williams' dog out that Wanda lady on the radio for like the 100th time, because I am learning how to dog people out through that video. I've been watching it for months now, and I just love it when he called her fingers gnarled.
3, your hair is kind of...
That joint was.
My hair is 19 inches long and I have no perm.
You don't?
Oops.
Oh, that's not a perm.
No, it is not. Nice lady.
That's natural?
Come run one of your gnarled
What
fingers.
here?
While you on air.
So that is all we have for you guys. We're just gonna leave you here, and we will see you Tuesday with something else exciting to talk about. Have a good one.
Ah.